Welcome back to Nifty Network. My name is Zach, and today I will be showing you how to install BC coilovers on a G37 Coupe. First things first, we're going to go ahead and take the wheel off the front of the car. These are just a 21 on an impact. Now, if we come in here, second thing I do is I pull the brake line off of the body of the strut up front, and then we can pull these guys off so that they're just away from the strut. And then the brake line is held on by a 12mm nut. Go ahead and take that one off. And this guy just slides off. Just like that, gives you a little bit more room. And then up on the upper control arm so that you can get the shock out and so that it'll drop down to 14. So you use a 14 wrench. Take the nut off first. Try not to twist the bolt because sometimes they'll strip inside of the body of the knuckle. And then you push down on it. Pull it apart and the knuckle will drop down like that. And then I like to just put all the nuts back onto the bolts that they came off of. Next thing I like to do is I'll pull the sway bar link, which is also the lower strut bolt, off. It is a 19mm. Pull that one off. Unless you're taking the other side apart at the same time as you're doing this side, the sway bar is going to make it difficult, and then you can't just put the coilover in. You basically have to do both sides at one time. So I'm going to show you guys how to do one side at a time. So you'll pull the 17 off of the lower sway bar link right here. It's a 19 on the inside and a 17 on the outside with the nut. Come down here. Take that one off. And you can pull the sway bar link out and then lift up on the lower control arm a little bit and it'll come off. Don't drop everything like I do. And then I just put everything right back on. Alright, next step, since this is all loose, you can see it. We're going to go ahead and go down with the car and take the top hat bolts out. And grab a 12mm socket and an extension so you can get down in there. And they're right down in here. Last one is out. We can go back up. So just go ahead and sneak this guy out of here. Just like that. Then there's your old strut. And we'll go over to our BCs over here. And we want to make sure that we're going to grab the right one. So on BCs, it'll tell you right here, front right. So we're working on the front left. On this one, it says front left. So we'll grab this one. And BCs always come with new top hat nuts. So we'll go ahead and take these off. Then you'll just go ahead, sneak this guy in here. Slide it in through the top hat. Reach over the top. And you can get one of those started so that you can let the coilover go. And I just reach in here. That guy in like that. Then you want to line this guy up. Turn the body of the shock and line it up with the lower control arm so you can slide it up. Grab your sway bar link. And it lines up just like that. Bearing 19 on the back of the coilover. Down here. Put this back on the sway bar. I might have to do that after, because that side is drooped. Yeah, we'll wait for this side.
So I guess you kind of have to do them together.
I mean, you definitely don't have to. You just wait to put the sway bar link on after. And then you go ahead and just push your knuckle back up. pull the lower control or the upper control arm down to it, all the way down. This guy will slide in and you can let it go. It'll hold it up there. And you put your nut back on. And I have to loosen this Allen so we can twist it and put it on there correctly. And that guy is a 5mm Allen. Loosen it up a little bit, then you can twist it the way that you need to. Slide the ABS wire on there. Take the nut off of the brake line. And there's little notches where it'll sit on there so it can't turn, so just make sure that it's all the way on. Just like that. And then if that bracket is comfortable where it's at, then you can go ahead and take your 5mm, tighten it back up. I gotta grab an extension. And a wobbly. Just until it's tight. You can grab your 12. Tighten up the brake line. Your 19 again. Okay. And then last but not least, we'll tighten up the upper control arm. Next, moving on to the rear of the car, we're going to go ahead and take the wheel off of the rear as well. First thing I like to do is get an extension with a 12mm socket on it. And then you can come up in here. Pull the two 12mm nuts off of the top of the top hat in the rear. That one usually comes flying out. Then you can grab a 17 on an impact or by hand, whatever. Remove the 17 out of the shock. And you can, the shock's probably blown out, so you can just compress it and take it right out. Then the next part is you got to get the spring out of here. On this part, if you are at home and your car is on jack stands, go ahead and grab the regular jack and set it right underneath this spring bucket here. If you're on a lift, then grab something like this, and we can go ahead and raise it up. This is all for safety, because if you don't do this, that spring comes shooting out. It is not going to be a good time. So just put just a little bit of tension on it, and then you grab your 17 and a 17 wrench. Go ahead and pull that guy out. Now you can go down slowly with this. If it comes off a little bit, don't get scared. You can go ahead and release it like that. Continue going down. Once you're all the way down, just pull that guy out of the way. And you can grab a pry bar and pop the rubber boot off of it. Pull this guy right out. And then we'll go ahead and grab your 17 again that you pulled out of here. Sometimes they get stubborn, because you can see that it's fully lined up from the other side, and you could just nothing crazy, just get it through, and then you can get it through the rest of the way with the nut. 17 on an impact and a wrench. Just like that.
Rolling.
And then you just grab your rear coilover. You got to cut the nut that they send with it off of there, because the old shock, the nut is actually welded to it, so you don't have to worry about it. but they actually provide a nut that is the same thread as the 17 that comes off of it. And then moving on to the dampener adjusters for the rear. You can not put these in. You can just pull the coilover out and change the dampening, whatever you want to do. But if this is a track car, different tracks are different on the car, so it's going to feel completely different. And you can drill a hole from the bottom all the way through the top, and then just stick this guy through, and you can adjust it on the fly just like the front. So I'll go ahead and show you how to drill the hole and put it through the top. Precaution: when you're drilling the hole, there's airbags back there. The solenoid or cylinder, whatever you want to call it, on the airbag where it gets plugged in is right above where we're drilling. So this is definitely a two-person job. Pull up the back partial shelf just a little bit so that the other person can see, and then drill, and then wherever it comes out, then you need to, the other person can say, yeah, that's good, keep going, and then you go all the way through. Then second step, you take the actual knob off the top so that it'll fit through the hole, and then you tighten it onto the adjuster on the coilover itself so that it's on there and it's not going to come off. So then you grab, I have a 3/8 drill bit. What I'll do is I'll go ahead, since the shock is out, I'll go all the way into the hole, almost right in the center, and aim it toward, like at an angle kind of like this, so that it doesn't hit the window when I go through. And then we'll go ahead and feed this in here. You'll take one of your nuts, put it on the coilover top hat so that that doesn't come out. And then we'll go ahead and put the second one on there. You can go ahead and grab your 12mm with a wobbly on it, so that, and an extension, so you can get to that back one and it's a little bit easier. You'll drop it in. Make sure it's tight. Next, we'll go ahead and grab the shock bolt. You'll lift up on this guy. Get it all the way through. And that nut that they provided, go ahead, thread it on there. And that guy's a 19 now. So you'll grab your 17 with a 19. Just like that. Okay, so in here, it came through where the baby car seat would mount. I'm gonna go ahead and take the actual baby car seat mount out so that I can just put the thing down in there like that and then be able to cover it. Then you won't have to worry about it. It won't tap your glass. You can put the adjuster still on there, and then if you want to adjust it, all you have to do is open the little flap and pull the cable out and adjust it that way. Once you have that guy on, I'm going to just set it kind of to a presetting. And then go ahead and just stick it down in there. Just like that, so you can't see it. And it's nice and clean. Pop that guy back in. And then you just get it from right there. And then you're done. Alright, and once you have the dampener adjuster installed and hid away or drilled the hole, did all that, that concludes doing coilovers on a G37 Coupe. The BCs are fully installed. The next thing would be putting it to the height that you would like. If you are leaving it kind of at a stock ride height, you just wanted something stiffer, then you can set it to that ride height. If you're slamming the car or it's a drift car or anything like that, you could dial in your fitment, dial in the dampening, and get everything settled. And do remember, when you adjust the coilovers to your height, and you put it down for the first time and you're like, oh yeah, that looks great. The coilovers are brand new. They need to settle in. They need to get driven on for like, I don't know, take it around the block, do like 10, 15 miles, and let the coilovers fully set until you know that that is the right height. Because even if you let it sit overnight, the car is gonna settle down and get lower than what you actually set it to. So just keep that in mind on adjusting the coilovers. Other than that, that is how you install BC coilovers on a G37 Coupe.